Hey, everybody, welcome to the People, Purpose, and Profits Business Coaching Podcast. I'm Brian Buck, and my co host is
Kat?
And we are thankful today that you are watching or listening to our show because we are talking about gratitude. You want to kick us off, Kat, about gratitude?
Absolutely. I think that is probably one of my most favorite things to talk about, especially when I talk to clients and I notice that they're stuck in their business. Tells me that there is a disconnect in themselves, with their surroundings, with their past, with their mission and so forth. So I find that gratitude paves the way to success much faster than the intellect does. And I want to start by asking you how it has served you in your life and how you made this a practice and why.
Sure. Yeah. I love gratitude. I'm grateful for gratitude. Um, One of the things, I've always had a practice of gratitude, but one of the things that my family does every day is at bedtime, we say one thing that made you smile today and one thing that you're thankful for. And one of the teachings that we put into that is no matter what happens, there's still something good we can look back on. And I think being able to have that optimism to realize that even when you had something challenging, you could still be grateful for the lessons or that you're still there and that you get another chance to do it again. You also start to see all of the little things that add up. And so for me, gratitude is at the heart of happiness and faith because I think if we aren't grateful for the good, alls we often do then is look at the bad and the problems and the barriers, and it really shapes our whole countenance.
I agree. And I have to share a story of when I started actually writing the gratitude statement. And it was back a few years ago. I had a coach and she had me writing, the statements down every night. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm a grateful person. Of course, anytime. So first day goes good. I have all these things that are coming up. I'm all grateful and whatnot. Second day comes around. I'm also grateful. Things are looking good. And the third day comes around, and then the fourth day comes around, and I'm starting to notice this resistance
Mm,
inside of me that, when you make a practice out of gratitude, some of the things that you are not looking at start to surface.
like what?
And it was part of my transformation to notice just what you said,
Mm,
the doubts, the worries, the this, the that. Because when you start becoming grateful, you have to do it from your heart. We first started doing it, intellectually,
mm,
but then we start putting more intention. We would start putting more attention. We, dedicate more energy to it. And you can't do it, you can't do it intellectually. You
yeah.
seriously can, especially when you write it down, because your brain, your heart, everything is connected to that piece of paper. And I really recommend this to everybody that's listening as a part of just your well-being.
Yeah.
Make that your sacred ground every single morning or every single night or twice a day if you can, and watch what happens to the quality of your life. And that's exactly what was in it for me. Because it's easy to say, well, I'm a really good person and I'm really grateful. But when it comes to actually acknowledging it, it's a different energy. And like I said, for me, I started noticing a lot of really dark emotions,
Mm,
things that I didn't want to look at, stuff that I hadn't processed. And it's part of our own healing. And
mm,
I noticed that with clients as well. And especially when you have to do it and you know it has benefits, your ego will try to get in the way to tell you that it's not good for you, or it's not that big of a deal. Everybody's doing it. It's just a hype or whatnot.
Mm.
But try it for yourself and then watch what happens.
No, that's so true. And that was one of the things, because I've been practicing this for so long. I've seen so many people coming out with, be gratitude, do a gratitude journal. Let's do these. And I'm always like, yeah, but I recognize how many people don't have it as a practice.
They don't.
And so I think it is so important to make it a practice. And I love what you say, that it there is definitely, when it goes from your head to your heart, and once it becomes in your heart, then it becomes your outlook, your being, and the way that you start to see everything. But it's really, having a consistent practice, whether you do it in a journal, you say it with your family, or you add it to your prayers, or uh, all of these, however you do it, you just want to do it consistently enough to where you start to do it without thinking. Then you've got a life of gratitude instead of a practice of gratitude.
Right. And it puts the emphasis on everything that's around us versus everything that's lacking, is that transformation and mindset as well. And I heard this question and it's really, really powerful. And I want to ask it to our audience as well. And, it was told a few years back, but it still makes me think of it. Like I'll often reflect on it. And it goes like this: if today everything you were stripped of everything, and tomorrow morning when you woke up you would only get the things you were grateful for, what would you have in your life?
Mm,
And you start noticing you didn't put your health, you didn't put your sight, you didn't put your hearing, you didn't put the fact that you're walking, or the fingers or your toes or anything that has to do with you. None of that. Like a lot of people, I want to say, I keep bringing percentages, but based on my experience with people, hardly any of them really were grateful for like their bodies,
mm,
their well-being, let alone their children. And we say we're grateful, like you say that you have a practice, but most people don't.
yeah,
They aren't grateful for the support system, or for the car or the house that they live in. So most people would actually wake up with almost nothing the
yeah.
next day.
Wow. That's deep. I love that. And I think it also makes me think about fulfillment. You know, I don't know who does this quote, and it's the fulfillment is the new rich and famous.
Oh,
And
it is.
it really is about that. And I don't think you could be fulfilled without gratitude, because you wouldn't even
Agreed.
recognize what you have to be
Right.
fulfilled. And it would just always be a constant hunger for more, to replace what doesn't exist, and you never arrive. And so I definitely see gratitude just leading towards that. And I think as a business, it's also important, as a business owner, how do you also communicate your gratitude to your customers, to either your employees or the contractors who work for you? As if you have a copywriter that helps you, or someone who helps you with your funnels, do they know they're appreciated?
Now, how do you show it, right?
Right, right. Because that's the other side too, is not only um, recognize what to be grateful for, but are you communicating to people that you're great? I'm grateful to you, Kat, for doing this podcast with me, because we've grown and learned so much, and you and I have different ways of talking about things that I think our audience can resonate with either or both of us, and it helps the conversation. So, like, are we giving gratitude as much as well? Because that's just as important.
I don't think not. I don't think enough. I think, it was almost every other word should be of gratitude. That's how truly blessed we are.
Yeah.
And here's another concept that I've noticed a lot of people struggle with was the fact that, oh, well, if I'm satisfied, if I'm happy, if I'm grateful for where I'm at right now, I will not strive for more. I should or I shouldn't strive for more.
Mm,
And the thing is, no, you can have both. You can
right.
be very grateful, very thankful, and still want to expand because the very life that we have is about expansion, is about growth. The
Yeah.
whole universe is growing every day.
Yeah. Ed Milet talks about this really well. He talks about we could be happy but dissatisfied. Like I'm happy where I am and have a sense of dissatisfaction to want to go to another level. So once again, recognizing that satisfaction does not equal happiness. Like we can have joy and gratefulness, but still want to do something next. And maybe dissatisfaction isn't the best word, but
I was just gonna say that because I do think when you say dissatisfied, it's almost like you're not happy. Not,
right.
so I think that that's why I use the term growth, because
Yeah.
people can trip over, certain words, and the satisfaction I know for me was one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends on your context, of course. But the whole idea, I do like that, is you could be happy, but still want to grow.
There we go.
There you go. I love it.
Ta-da.
Right. And you're right, is and gratitude, you're just as you grow, there's more to be grateful for. There's the gratitude of the learning that's going to happen, or the insights that you get from working with a coach like you or I, or a mentor in your life, because they are the ones that's going to help make it easier. I always like to say, what we do is we help people collapse time. Like you could go on a self-development journey and you'll get there, but it might take you 15 years versus someone who helps you get that practice now so you can accelerate,
Yeah.
get there in a couple of years instead of 15.
And gratitude really pays dividends.
Yes.
I really have seen that, and that has been, an eye opener for me because I think, in a sense, when I first started it out, it was like more of a selfish thing. Is
Mm,
this whole concept of like be grateful to receive more.
mm,
And I think there are different ways of practicing gratitude, but the most important one, and you'll know when you reach that, when you're just simply grateful for no reason.
yeah, I love that. Well, and I think it's the whole idea of being blessed to be a blessing.
Oh, I love that.
And I remember many, many, many years ago, we had a friend whose wife went into the hospital, and we said, "What can we do to help to her?" And she said, "Can you just make sure my family has food?" And so we went shopping and we hooked them all up, and it was cool to be able to say, "What are we grateful?" So we're grateful we were able to do that, and our life wasn't negatively impacted. That we could serve and help them, give them joy, give them one less thing to worry about when they've got enough other things to worry about.
Right.
And so I think, yeah, are you grateful for your ability to make an impact? That's where it's huge.
I never even thought about it that way. So, that's definitely a fresh perspective. And I hope our audience is taking notes because there's a lot of great stuff shared today. And I'm learning, and I am grateful for that, and for you, and for all the people that I had the chance from, of learning from, even for the books. And it's so interesting, especially from like now we're coming into this understanding that everything is energy.
Mhm.
And for me, this concept was so far-fetched. Like 10 years ago, I was like, well, whoever's talking about that stuff,
Yeah,
really, I think they're smoking something.
yeah, yeah,
But now, like, understanding it, even the fact that we're writing stuff down, or the fact that we're talking this is all energy that gets carried, and it gets returned to us.
yeah,
And and just the way we're sharing now, I know that someone out there will listen and get, their breakthrough.
Yeah.
And for, I'm grateful for indirectly affecting lives and knowing that what I say or what I've been through has gotten me to a point where I can teach it, where, I can, see a difference in other people's lives. So to me, that's a miracle in itself that I'm grateful for every day.
Yeah. And I'll just add, we are grateful for our audience. If you're catching us on YouTube or you're listening to us on your podcatcher of choice, we are thankful you tune in every week, either for the conversation with Kat and I or the other ones where we interview someone amazing. We put these together with love, thinking, okay, who's our audience going to really love? Who are they going to learn from and get that? So we do this as a service to you, but we're thankful that you tune in, and we're thankful for the tidbits that help make your life better each time. So make sure you check us out on Facebook. There's a Facebook page that lets you know when new episodes are out. We also have a Facebook group where you can interact with other listeners and also Kat and I. So thank you, everyone. We look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Bye-bye.
See you soon.